Good morning, traders. Welcome to Trading Together. I'm Mel Gacee. Today is Wednesday, April the 15th. Happy tax day, everyone. I hope you all got your taxes done and you can take a deep breath and relax that hopefully you've got that off of your plate. Welcome. This is a live, interactive, friendly stream. I'm going to do some live trading today. This is for educational purposes only. So just remember that if you choose to follow along with any of my trades, you're doing so at your own risk. I'm going to, if we get some setups today, I'm going to take some trades in front of you. And this is going to be me kind of just talking through what my thought process is and what the reasons are that I'm taking these trades. So that being said, I would love to have you drop your name in the chat. I'd love to get to know you a little bit. I would love to have you ask me any questions or comments that you might have. So this is also a place where we can learn and grow together. And I am a licensed stockbroker. I have been trading for 20 years. I have my Series 7, and this is what I do for a living. So I'm happy to answer your questions. My goal is to help traders, no matter what level you are in your journey. My goal is to help you get to where you're going. So that is the whole objective of this channel. So we want to be an encouraging and friendly place and a community of traders who are learning and growing. So thank you so much for saying hi. Freaky Turkey is here this morning. Good morning. Diane is here saying good morning. Crazy morning on the way up already. Yep. Wild morning. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Dana is here. Good morning, Dana. And Craig is here. Hi, Craig. Thank you guys for saying hi. If you all haven't said hi yet, drop your name in the chat. I would love to know who's here with me. We're trading together and we are getting to know each other and having some fun along the way, I hope. All right. Yeah, so let's talk about what we're getting so far today. David Neely, good morning. It's me, Emerald Plummer, otherwise known as Kevin. Good morning. Gavilan, good morning. Nice to see you guys. All right, let's get over here to our charts and let's see what we've got going on. Guys, we are a stone's throw away from the all-time high. We are really just holding it sideways here. Right now at 697 on the SPY, which is the equivalent of about 6993 on the SPX. And where is our all-time high sitting? Let's take a look at that. I'm going to go to the daily chart on the SPX, and you'll see exactly how close we are. It's funny. All right. Here is our daily chart. As you know, my chart is full of red lines that have all been created over the last months and even years. So these red lines, as distracting as they are, they do have their meaning. They do have their place. But let's take a look at where we are. Watch this candle that we're making today. This is today's candle right here. And let me zoom in a bit for you, but I don't want to lose this high. So here's our all-time high made on January 28th. And that was made at 7,002. That was our all-time high. And we have done nothing in the last 10 days but scream upward. Look at this. Usually the old saying goes that stocks take the stairs up and the escalator down. But I would say that it has been quite opposite in this case. We took the stairs down. Took us, a month to get from here to here. It took us 10 days to get from here to here. So we took the elevator up and the stairs down this time, which is unusual, but here we are, 10 days. Look at the strength of the move. I want to say I saw a statistic that this was the 8th fastest or largest move on the VIX. It got knocked way down. The VIX is currently sitting in the 18 zone, got knocked way down from where it was. So that was quite a move on the VIX. And now at the same time, getting this crazy, we have traversed 600 points in a matter of, 10 days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Today is the 11th day. We have traversed over 600 points, over 600. Wild, wild move, exactly as Diane is saying. But here's what, two stairs up at a time up. Yeah. Howard is here. Good morning. Howard. Val is here. Good morning, Val. Good to see you guys. So yeah, we are sitting right here at the all-time high. Right now, the SPX is sitting at 69.89 and the all-time high sits at 7,002. So we are basically 13 points away from tagging this all-time high. But what have you noticed that they've been doing all morning? We got this push at the open and then a hard drop and then a very slow, consistent push up to our current high of the day, which is sitting at 697 on the SPY, roughly 69.90 area-ish on the SPX. And what have we done? Nothing. Done nothing but move sideways. Now, what is the plan? Are they going to just give us some wild, hard push, hit that high and be done with it? After they drag us sideways, toy with our emotions all day, and then run up and tag it? Are they going to pull it sideways and then give us some crazy hard drop as everybody positions for the all-time high and goes long? Or are they just going to leave us here on the cliffhanger going sideways all day? I'll tell you, I'm completely undecided as to which way they're going to go with this. So we just have to be cautious, wait and see. I will say this. I've seen this movie before. We have seen how the market reacts at all-time highs. And what do we normally see? Well, they just kind of play, don't they? They're just, if past performance is any indication of future results, which all of the um, investment firms like to say that it is not. But if past performance is any indication of future results, we get these moves up to the all-time high and we get a rejection. So we push and we pull and we push and we pull and we push and we pull. And here we are again, right here, right here. So are we going to go ahead and get this push up through here and ring that bell? Remember, and I don't know if you guys had this middle school, but in middle school PE class, we had to climb the rope and run up there and ring the bell, and only some people could do that, not very many. But that's kind of what it reminds me of. You know, they're climbing this rope and they want to run up and ring that bell is what it looks like. But usually it seems to me that we get this little bit of a cat and mouse game just shy of the all-time high. And that's what we've been getting here for the last hour. Just this kind of sideways nothing move. Nothing is happening here. So that is kind of what I'm just watching for, waiting to see which way the market's going to go. I don't want to take a trade in this sideways chop. I want to see them make a decision. Our VIX is giving us a bit of a climb, and that's the other weird piece of the story today. The VIX is acting wonky. It has been since yesterday. So if you remember, the VIX is the volatility index. It is the gauge that tells us, also known as the fear gauge. It is the gauge that tells us what is the fear in the market. Are we on but there it goes there. Now they're trying to jump. Let's see what we get. That's a little pop. Let's watch and see. I'm going to look at some calls here. That is a push. Looking at 697 calls. We came up and hit, what did we hit? 69.96 on the SPX. Do we want to try and see if there's any juice left in this call? It's a little nerve-wracking, I'll tell you. That is a big volume push. The equivalent of a drop on the VIX. I don't know. I really don't know. We did make a new high here at 697.2. We did get a volume bar here. But are we moving up? I can't tell. And don't forget, tomorrow is OPEX. That stands for options expiration. There are different types of expiration for options. All right, looks like we're pushing. I'm going to go ahead and try the call here. I'm in. Punch it. Remember, that's for educational purposes. I'm not recommending a trade. If you choose to follow, you're going to do that at your own risk, okay? All right, we're getting a little bit green here, not anything too impressive yet. And this move may not push hard, so we may take a tiny win. And they're just sitting here. Come on, guys. I don't like it. It's a new high of day. I don't like it. I don't like this price movement. I'm going to take the out here at 6%. I'm out. Punch it. Just because we're making a new high of day. A lot of times when we get that, sometimes they'll keep pushing it, but other times they'll kind of turn and pull it down. 69.98, guys. They are right here. We're right here. Get out the popcorn. We have got 4 points to hit the all-time high. 4 points. It certainly feels like they want to do that today. 69.97, 5 points away. Feel like I'm an announcer on some kind of a NASCAR wild long race, right? Round in the home stretch. But again, I'll tell you, I have seen this movie before, and they don't always just go and do what you would expect them to do. They don't always just run up there and tag that. Sometimes they just play around. So, ran up to 697.4. Don't know if anybody chose to trade on that last one, but that was about 6% for me. All right, looks like maybe a little pullback after a new high. Let's see what we get. But we were back talking about the VIX. It's been acting odd. We did have VIX expiration this morning. VIX expires in the AM, which is different than most of the other products that expire in the PM. Val got 2, better than a loss. You're right, Val. This is very tough trading. It seems right in retrospect, you look at it and you think, oh, okay, it's just been running up all day. But no, these are not easy trades to make. because this, first of all, this move isn't very much. It's a small move. So making money on a tiny move is hard, as Val illustrates. 2%, right? Gavilan got 5. It's challenging, right? To take, because look at what we're doing. We get teeny little moves and then a little bit of red, or we get sideways for an hour, sideways for an hour. This is not easy trading. You can look at this chart, in hindsight and say, oh yeah, sure, I would have made money that day. But no, it's not that easy. This sideways chop eats your lunch. You can't make money here. Very, very challenging. And do you make a little money here? Yes, but it's only a little money. And you had to guess the right side. So you had to have guessed while you were in this chop, you had to have guessed, because this is where the move was on that one candle, right? So you had to guess that we were going to make this direction. And you could be right, you could be wrong. But if you wait for the confirmation, the break of the range, which is what I waited for this candle to break the range and then got in. Well, what do we get? Nothing. There's nothing there. So these are challenging days to trade. Don't beat yourself up if you struggle on days like these, because it's not as easy as it looks. Over here, this was a beautiful call, right? But we were in this range for a good amount of time. And then we had these levels to contend with: the overnight high, the opening range, the high area of the VWAP. This is always a dangerous area right in here when you get to the outer edge of the VWAP, above or below. This is an area for reversals. It happens all the time. So it's not as simple as it looks. And if you've made some green on a day like this, then you can be proud of yourself, right? All right. Howard, good trade, but short, very short, Howard. Glad you were able to catch it. Diane traded it for green on a different stock, of course, not an option yet, though. That's okay, Diane. No worries there. I'll tell you, Diane, I don't know if you're trading on Thinkorswim, but if you are and you want to practice with options, I recommend this to all of my traders. If you're trying to learn a new strategy, if you're trying to learn options, if you're trying to learn spreads, whatever you want to learn, if you're on Thinkorswim, and this is not an endorsement. I just use Thinkorswim and I like it. They don't pay me, but the Thinkorswim has a beautiful product called On Demand. It's right here in the upper right-hand corner. When you have to be live trading, you can't be in paper trading to access On Demand. But if you are in live trading and you go to On Demand, you will get a whole virtual universe, and you can replay any day, pretty much any day in history. You can go back and replay it. And it gives you, it just lets you replay the day as if you were trading live. It's a great tool for learning how to place an order, learning how to do an option, learning how to place a spread, just figuring out the platform. It's a really good place to do that because it's all virtual. You can't hurt yourself. So Diane, if you have Thinkorswim and you are interested in learning options, use the on-demand function. Okay. Diane saying, refreshing to hear you say that some of this difficulty isn't due to experience, but that some of it is just difficult conditions. Exactly right, Diane. Very challenging conditions, very challenging when we're really not moving. We're just not moving much today, and we're moving slowly. So yes, use Thinkorswim and the on-demand. Great, Diane. Use that for learning your options. That is a great place to practice. All right. So we've looked at our daily chart. We've looked at this wild ride, 11 days traversing 700 points. Incredible. Absolutely amazing ride here. And we have made money on the way up. But you know what? We've made money carefully and safely. If you guys have followed on this stream, you will see that I'm cautious, even though you could call my strategy risky because I'm trading 0 days to expiration and I'm scalping. You can call that a risky strategy, but I put a lot of parameters around my trading to keep it safe, to keep safer, right? And so we have made money on the way up here. We've made money on the way down, but we've done it safely. I'm not one that goes in there swinging for the fences, going for 50, 60, 100% wins. I don't trade like that. I trade, as you've seen, tiny little wins, but guess what? Those add up. They really add up. So, again, don't be discouraged if you've had trouble trading this market. It's not easy. And Diane, trading stock, of course, as you know, is going to slow you down even further. Again, it's much safer to trade stock than options, much safer. But if you're trading stock, as you know, your wins will be a little bit blunted compared to the options wins, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. If you're winning, even if it's small amounts, but you're winning consistently, it adds up. Trust me, it really adds up. Okay. So yeah, back to our VIX. I've been really scratching my head the last 2 days watching the behavior of the VIX. It's been a little off. Just a little off is all I can say. In general, normally the VIX and the market run inverse to each other. The VIX comes up, the market comes down, the VIX comes down, the market goes up. That is the relationship. Almost always you will see the VIX running inverse to the market because, again, what is the VIX? It is the fear gauge of the market. As the VIX rides itself up, it's telling everybody, danger, danger, danger. And as it comes down, it's saying, okay, we're good. Everybody's happy. Go ahead and buy. Go ahead, charge, run ahead, buy some options, buy some stocks. So the VIX, that's its job. When it gets a little wonky, it gets a little out of step, that's when I start paying closer attention because something usually is about to change. When the VIX starts going up at the same time as the market, coming down at the same time as the market, even if it's only for a few minutes during the day, something is off. And you don't always know how that other shoe is going to drop, but what you do know is something is a little bit off. And that's what I've seen for the last 2 days. Little sections of the day where the VIX is running at the same direction as the SPY. So unusual, and I'm kind of paying attention to a potential shift in direction because of the way the VIX is acting, because of, look at this crazy spike up. We've got to have there's got to be some profit taking here somewhere. This is nuts, crazy 600-point run up. There's going to be some profit taking coming up here. When, I don't know, but I am watching for that. I'm watching the VIX. I'm watching all of it. So that the other thing to remember is on Friday, it's options expiration. So I was about to explain what that means. Options all have an expiration date. In the old days, all that we had was monthly expirations. We didn't have anything else. And then little by little, we started getting these weekly expirations. So let me explain a monthly expiration. In the old days, you would get in, let's say the next expiration is the third Friday of May, whatever day that is. I don't even know. Let me look real quick. I'll tell you. Looks like May the 22nd. Looks like May the 22nd. If I'm wrong, forgive me. But basically, in the old days, you would get into a trade, even the SPY, and or even if the SPY was, you'd get into whatever product you were going to trade, and the expiration would be May 22nd, right? Assuming we're past the April 17th expiration, right? We'd get into the May 22nd expiration, and that's how long we would have to trade that option. We had the whole month to figure out what that option was going to do, and it would go up and down and do whatever it would do. And then we moved to weekly expirations. So then we started having these Friday expirations once a week. Same situation. We get in, we had the whole week to trade that option. And then we started to move to twice weekly or 3 times weekly expirations. So the SPY was going Monday, Wednesday, Friday expirations. So if you bought on Tuesday or Thursday, you had to wait for the following day for the expiration, or you could wait to the following day. 69.99, guys, just about to hit that 7,000. And so then it went from 3 times a week to daily expirations, but only on certain products. Right now, we only have just a handful of products that trade daily expirations: the SPY, the IWM, the DIA. And I think that's about it for dailies. Now, gold and silver, GLD, SLV, those have gone to 3 times weekly. I think some of the big stocks have gone to 3 times weekly. Eventually, we're all going to go to daily expirations, and eventually we're going to go to round the clock trading. That's where we're headed. But all that to say, back in the day, the big money as well as retail could only place their trades monthly. Well, big money still adheres to that, because we've talked about this. Big money can't just go in there with $1 million, $5 million, $20 million order and sell the market, because what happens? The market moves against them, against the very order they're trying to fill. Boom, you go in there with a $5 million sell, market's going to drop against you. You're going to lose the very price you're trying to get. So big money moves in chunks. And so you will see that they will position themselves around these monthly expirations. And at the end of that monthly expiration, they have to reposition themselves. So a lot of times at the options expiration on the monthlies and the quarterlies, you'll see that there's some jockeying, a lot of movement. You'll see that the market gets a little bit erratic. It gets a little bit crazy. And we might think about a put here. Market gets a little crazy around options expiration. So all of that big explanation is to explain to you that when we start hitting monthly expirations, and sometimes even the day or even 2 days before, we start to get a little bit erratic. We start to get these swings that start to happen. And that is coming up on Friday. We have monthly options expiration on Friday. It's the third Friday of the month. So that will also play into whatever kind of moves we're going to get. Now, this move here has got some high volume. I'm going to look at some puts here at the 698 level, 697. I'm going to look at 697. I'm not in them yet, but I am looking. I like the big volume. I like this little drop here. We are sitting at 69.93 on the SPX. Not really dropping hard right now, so I'm kind of waiting. All right. Diane, can't wait to apply consistency toward options. You bet, Diane. You'll love it. You'll love it when you start experiencing that leverage that you get. All right. Mr. James Slate is here. Jimmy, good morning. David Tusi, good morning to you. It's always the third week of the month. Yes, sir, it is. The third Friday. Thank you. 7,000. QQQ. All right. What does that mean, David? Are you trading the Qs right now? All right. I'm going to try this put here. I am in. Punch it. Remember, this is educational. If you choose to follow, it's at your own risk. I'm jumping out here at 5%. Punch it, I'm out. All right. Okay, David was talking to me while I was speaking about the 0 day. Thank you, David. All right, Guy is here. Good morning. And Guy is short the SPY. All right, good luck, Guy. James, what strike price? I was in and out of the 697, James. And to clarify that for all of you, I always trade the first option in the money. So if I say I'm getting into puts, I will call out the level that I'm getting in at, but it will always be the first option in the money. So great question, James. Thank you. Or Jimmy, I should say. All right. Getting a little push down here. Let's see how far we go. Look at what they did, guys. Do you see what they did? Absolutely so manipulative of these guys. I'm telling you. Look at where they pushed it to. On that push up that we were watching when I was saying watch 6999, where'd they go? They went 6999.8. This is the manipulation that we see. And there's a reason for that. There are probably orders, a bunch of them, we could go and look, sitting at 7,000 SPX. I would almost guarantee that there are some sell orders sitting there. There could be buy orders sitting there. I don't know. We'd have to go look. But the point is that these guys are manipulating that. They know, they can see where the orders are sitting. They can see it. And so they push this price just under, getting up to 0.86999.8 to not trigger whatever is coming. We're either pushing up through all-time highs or we're pulling down and reversing. But there will be some trigger at 7,000, more than likely. And what else happens at 7,000? The all-time high. So we're 2 points away from it at 7,000. Pure manipulation. I'm telling you guys, I've seen this movie so many times. They do not come out right away and just tag that high. They always play around. They always dance around. They hold out the carrot. They want everybody going long today for that all-time high. They want everyone going long. And, will they run up and tag it today? They sure could. We don't know what they're going to do, but I have seen them really dance around it for sometimes days. And that can be really frustrating to trade. All right. David got in SPX puts for 10 contracts, sold 5 at 10:30, holding the other 5. Good luck, David. Good luck to you. Dana lost on that one too. Oh, I'm sorry, Dana. All right. Let's move on over to the daily here on my futures. All right. Sitting kind of in this heavily traded range bound traffic right here. It's a little bit of a traffic jam. Do you see it? Just sideways. Back down. So we pushed up and fell over. And now we are back in the range. They haven't dropped it. They haven't gone far at all. They're not dropping it right now. So are we going to make another run up for the top? Are we going to get a hard drop, or are we going to pull sideways? So far today, it's been little leg up, sideways, little leg up, sideways. As we said earlier, very challenging to trade. All right, there's our little push here. I'm not super excited about buying calls at this level. If we go down, we're going to 69.88, 69.90. Yeah, that wouldn't be a far drop at all, David. And I don't disagree with you, because that would be about less than 10 points, 5 to 10 points. Yeah, I think that would be a very reasonable drop. All right. And this whole morning, we've done nothing but make this little sideways tiny move. Haven't gone very far at all. And what's really odd to me, another thing that's odd, there are a few things that are just off today and even yesterday. Something is off. And here's one that's really off. Look at the Mag 7. This is the ETF that holds all of the Magnificent Seven: Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, Google, Nvidia. Holds all seven of them. So I like to track that as an ETF because it gives me an idea of what all seven of them are doing as a whole. It's all kind of averaged in together. Mags is sitting at 2 points elevated today. Mags is sitting at 2% elevated. And the SPY is sitting at 0.3. What? That does not make sense to me. The Qs are sitting at 0.6. Something is off. Something is off. One is lying. Let's say it that way. Either the mags are lying, this whole Magnificent Seven group, or the Qs and the SPY are lying. So I don't know what's going on here, but something is going to move. Something is going to move. So we'll see. We'll see what that is. A push up through the all-time high or a drop, I think. But we don't know. We just don't know yet. All right. Steady and slow climb. That is off. Yeah, I mean, maybe. But it honestly, the climb hasn't even been much, because within the first few minutes of the open, we hit 62. We're now at 71. We all from here to here is 9 points. That's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's really more sideways than anything else, but they're making the chart look like it's a climb. It's honestly, it's not. It's not going very far at all. All right. What's the ticker for the equal weighted S&P? Might explain the difference. That is called the RSP, Craig. We can take a look at that, and it's a great point. What Craig is talking about is, let me show you. We've looked at this before many times together. This is the S&P 500. This is a visual representation of the stocks and their weighting within the index. These guys are all the big heavyweights, and these guys, Mag 7, these are what move the S&P 500. The equally weighted S&P 500 is called the RSP. That index takes all 500 of the stocks and gives them an equal weight, and it tries to tell you what all of the stocks are doing together, not just the Magnificent Seven. So that can be, it can be helpful to look at that, because it takes away what's really going on with the S&P 5 or with the Magnificent Seven. So here's the RSP on the daily, and RSP is giving us a bit of a red candle here. So that is telling us that if you take all 500 stocks and weigh them equally, we're kind of flat to a little bit down. So it's a good point, Craig, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Okay. David, it's for 2 days. Yep, it has been 2 days. I agree with you that, and the VIX has felt off for the last 2 days as well. VIX giving us little moments during the day where it's climbing at the same time as the market. It's done that for about 2 days in a row now. All right, SPY giving us another little push back up to our high. Where are we sitting? 6999.1. Feels like they want to jump up and ring the bell. We're really close. We are very, very close here. Very close to hitting this high. David asking what my gut is saying. Are we going to a new high? We're so close. It's hard to see them not hitting the high. We're within at this moment like 2 points. It's hard to see them not going and tagging that right now. Always remember them going over and coming back down when we touch it, and even go over based on my experience. Exactly. A lot of times we'll hit a pullback when we hit the new high. But usually what they'll do is if they notch a new high, you don't know exactly where they're going to stop. They'll notch it up wherever they want to, and then it'll pull back, but you don't really know. And that's the whole idea of an all-time high, is we've never been here before. That's what an all-time high is, obviously. And when we've never been here before, we don't know where price is going. We have a few tools we can use. We can look at options flow. We can look at open interest. We can look at gamma. But the truth of it is we really don't know where we're going. It's called price discovery. We're in uncharted waters. So we have to be open-minded. We don't know how far they're going to push it up, and we don't know where they're going to stop. So, when we've got lines below us, like you guys see on my chart, tons of lines below us, we kind of know what's below us. We certainly don't know what's above us. So that is always the question mark. All right. In the same day, they usually drop it. Yep, it can be dropped the same day. Exactly true, David. We don't know. All right. Just floating sideways here. We hit 69995, I think was our high. 69994. And we'd already hit a high of 8. That was back over here. So we're just kind of what they're doing is taking another run at it, right? And they're just keeping it within this tiny little range. This is almost impossible to trade. This little range here, very, very hard to trade. Hard to know if they're going to run it up or drop it down. We just have to wait. In these situations, we just have to wait and let the market tell us what it wants to do, because we just don't know. I will say, though, super odd with the mags and what it's doing. Super odd. 2% up on the mags. Crazy. Of course, we've got Tesla at 7.5%. It is screaming. Microsoft, 3.5%. Broadcom, 3%. Meta, where'd you go, Meta? Almost 2%. Apple, almost 2%. NVIDIA, almost 2%. So really strong showing by the Magnificent Seven. The only member of the Magnificent Seven who's really kind of floundering today is Amazon. They're down about 0.4%. So crazy, wild push in the whole of the Magnificent Seven. And by the way, here's another thing to keep in mind. We are coming into earnings season. Now that happens quarterly. Companies have to report their earnings quarterly, and the market pays very close attention, especially to the Magnificent Seven. That is coming up. This week, we've had bank earnings. Bank earnings have gone well, but financials have struggled a little bit. Coming into next week and the week after, we're going to start pushing into Magnificent Seven earnings season. As that happens, we're going to see the market start to adjust, or maybe not, adjust its expectations on where the Magnificent Seven is going. A lot of people saying AI has been in a bubble and it needs to pop, and questioning how long can we keep these companies, these titans, trillion-dollar titan companies, how long can they keep posting these huge profits? These huge earnings numbers, how long can they keep doing that? So a lot of people kind of questioning that, kind of wondering what is going to happen when we start hitting earnings. So that will also, as we're pushing into this all-time high territory, what begins to happen with all of these earnings. So that'll be another cliffhanger to be watching for in the next few weeks. All right. Gavilan, with earnings, how far do you think Tesla will go? Great question, Gavilan. We can take a look at the Tesla chart. Let's look at that because it's a good question with Tesla up 7, almost 8% today. Wild move on Tesla. Look at Tesla's chart. Geez Louise. Not even a chance to go short here on Tesla today. Look at that. Puts are crushed on Tesla today. There is no chance to make a money on a put here. This is pure buying. Solid, strong buying. All right, let's look at the daily. Well, what do you know? My FSLR sold at a profit. That's nice. I had shorted FSLR based on some big movements that I saw. Options, I should say options flow. And I had set a limit order to get out of there because I can't track everything when I'm trading, when I'm day trading. So that one made 10% for me. Okay. Tesla trade on buy alerts was insane. I did not see it. But look at that. Look at that. Wowza. Incredible. Closed it yesterday. Small profit. Wish I kept it. Yeah, I feel that. Look at that bar. Look at today's bar. Just nuts. Absolutely insane. Here is earnings on Tesla. April 22nd. So part of this push, Gavilan, what you're asking is that question, right? What is Tesla going to do before earnings? Well, I guess it's going to run up, right? It is really pushing. But earnings are on the 22nd. So let's look back. What did Tesla do on previous earnings? Pushed up a couple of days before, got to earnings and dropped. Right here, pushed up a bit, dropped a bit, and then pushed up on this one. On this one, big gap down on earnings. So Tesla's been a bit unpredictable. Here was a push on earnings. So we can see it kind of going both directions in previous earnings, up and down. But sometimes, I won't say a lot of times, sometimes when I see a really big push into earnings on a big company, sometimes you will see it come down either before or right at earnings. It doesn't always happen that way, and I don't trade earnings. I think earnings are a crapshoot. I don't trade them. Technical analysis is you can almost throw it out the window during earnings on big companies because crazy things happen. And you can see a company absolutely kill their earnings and drop, or you can see a company totally fail and just skyrocket. So it's a crapshoot. I don't trade them. Technical analysis is challenging on earnings. But I will say this, when I do see strong run into earnings on a big company, sometimes you do see that reverse at earnings. All right. So here we are, just doing nothing. Same old, same old. Let's go back to SPY. Crazy chart. Just kind of hovering, making almost a little double top here, possibly. Still sitting at 6998, just under 6999. And our VIX is also moving sideways. You can just see the little floor that they're holding here at 18. Not letting the VIX drop. I mean, it has dropped a great deal, but I'm talking about in the minute chart. They're not really letting it get below 18 right now. So there is something to be said about that. All right, Freaky saying we failed the new high. Yes, we hit the new high of day right here at 11:28. We came back up and tried to hit it, but didn't. But we're also not dropping. So just sitting right here, doing not much. Now, could we trade some puts here? We're starting to get some signals. The MACD is starting to roll over negative. Could we trade puts here? Maybe we could. Let's look. I would be looking at the 697 puts. Sorry, yes, let's see. Is that right? No, 698 puts. I'm not in them. I'm kind of looking here. We're getting some signals, but they haven't really let it drop yet. VIX gave a little move up here. If I trade it again, it would probably be super small and fast because they just have not really let it drop at all today. That doesn't mean they won't, but it means I'm cautious. $6.996. All right, I'm going to try the put here very quickly. I'm in, punch it. Again, this is educational. If you choose to follow, you're going to follow at your own risk. I'm showing you how I trade. And I don't have to be right. Sometimes I'm wrong. Lots of times I'm wrong. All right, I'm out. Punch it. About 5% on that one. Looks like we could come down more. Nice drop. Very nice drop. All right, Freaky got 8%. Nicely done, Freaky. Nice little win there for us. And so you saw the way I kind of made my decision on this trade. I watched this high. I didn't take calls, even though they were pushing higher. I waited for this reversal here, and I waited for the MACD to turn red. I waited for the VIX to give us the little all clear here on the green candles. And so I also traded it very, very cautiously. I took a very small win, 5%, because we've got this little short-term bottom right here. We would call that a recent swing low. All right, Val, 6%, panicked, sold too early. Nope, I think that was a good call there, Val, because look at what it's doing. You know, is it going to keep dropping? We don't know. The sentiment today is pushing higher for sure. So whenever we take a counter trend or counter sentiment trade, we have to be super cautious. So Val, I don't think that was a panic sell. I mean, maybe it was for you, but I don't think that was a bad choice. Okay, I think that was a good choice. Dana got 10. Nicely done, Dana. All right, we are coming up to the end of the stream. We took a couple of winning trades today. That was a lot of fun. As you saw, I was very cautious. And again, it's all about the education. So I'm taking these trades in front of you so that you can hear my thought process and you can learn from my trades. So I appreciate you joining me today. I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm thinking for the rest of the day. I'm really honestly 50-50 as to whether they come up here and punch up through the all-time high. I feel like we're so close. It's hard to think that they don't. And yet like I said, I've seen this movie before. They dance around these all-time highs, sometimes for days, and they just dangle that carrot and lull people into these trades and then pull the rug out. So be cautious. In your trading at these levels. It's not as easy as it would seem. So be careful. I'm telling you this, the market makers are out there to take your money. So just remember that there's always somebody on the other side of your trade. What do they know that you don't know? Good thing to bear in mind. So going forward today, I am thinking we could come up and pop that high. And then as David says, maybe drop from it. We could also continue in this sideways, dangling the carrot range, just moving sideways, not dropping, not climbing, or we could just get a fast rug pull. That could also happen. So there's a lot of different choices, basically three ways the market can go, up, down, or sideways. And I do not have a firm conviction on any of it. I've told you what I do know, and usually what I know is that at all-time highs, we get squirrely. They don't just give it to you. They don't just hand out the candy. They don't make it easy. So that's where I'm at, guys. Remember, things are a little wonky with the movement of the mags, the movement of the VIX. Things are a little wonky. It's feeling odd. So just bear that in mind as well. I will be back again. Why didn't I get in earlier on the put? Because I wanted to actually see the confirmation, Craig. I think I took it at 9:55, which is 11:55 right here. I was watching the MACD. I could have taken it right here, right when the MACD started to turn, but we were still kind of see this range right here, Craig? This range was still holding. And if you put your cursor at the bottom of that range, we really didn't break that until this candle. So that's where I jumped in. Right in these two candles is where I jumped in. And that's why, Craig, was this range right here. They were really holding it. So, and plus the fact that I'm just cautious today. I'm just very, very cautious. Okay, Guy saying thanks. You are welcome. Guy got 20%. Nicely done. And again, so you've got my thoughts for the day. We'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Freaky saying thanks. You're so welcome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all joining me. And we will be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. We are taking wins and wins and wins. And so I hope that this has been educational for you. And I will be back again tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye for now.